Sri Lanka is one of the last Asian countries with a population of wild roaming elephants. These elephants are not just a tourist attraction, but are also an integral part of the culture and the day-to-day lives of Sri Lankans. Some of these elephants are also domesticated and trained and form a lifelong bond with their masters, who are known as Mahouts.
මගේ නම රවින්දු.
Mahouts begin their training at an early age, when a young boy like Ravindu is introduced to a young elephant.
මගේ අතින්නගේ නම රාණි. මගේ රාණිට හුඟක් මං ආදරේ.
During the course of this training, both the young Mahout and the young elephant grow up, mature, and learn to respect and tolerate each other and forge a bond which will last for a lifetime. Elephants are such magical creatures. And if you are as fascinated by these animals as much as I am, you surely will enjoy this next segment.
Today, I invite you to spend an entire day with a family of Mahouts here in Sri Lanka and experience for yourself what it is like to live with this majestic creature.
Good morning, Mr. Pereira.
කවුද?
I hear you have an elephant here.
ඕ මහත්තයා අලියෙක් ඉන්න අලිය බලන්න දායි. එනං එන්න.
Super excellent. Come on in.
වරද නැහැ මහත්තයා අලියෙන් ඉන්න.
All right, guys. So these right here are the Pereira family. This right here is Nihal. This is Chaminda, his son. And they've been looking after elephants as long as they can think. Let's check out. Oh man, this is so amazing. Guys, I have a dog at home. I mean, can you imagine having an elephant at home? That's just like the coolest pet ever. Chaminda, I mean, you all had breakfast. What about the elephant? I mean, what do you feed him?
උදේට එහෙම බ්‍රෙක්ෆාස්ට් එකක් කියලා නෑ අලියට. ඉතින් මේ අපි ඉතින් උදේම නැකිලා තේකක් එහෙම බීලා ඉතින් මේ පන්තිය සුද්ධ කරගන්නවා. ඊට පස්සේ ඉතින් ගෙදර ඉන්නවා නම් විතරක් පොල්ලතු කෑලි 3-4ක් දානවා. හවසට තමයි ඉතින් කෑම දෙන්නේ ආපහු.
So let's check it out, how a Mahout lives his day with this majestic animal.
දැන් අපි කෑම ගේන්න යන්න ඕනේ.
What he says, we need to get food for the elephant now. I'm kind of wondering, where do they get the food from? මේ කෑම කොහෙද ගන්නේ? සුපර් මාකට් එකෙන් නැත්නම්?
නෑ මහත්තයා සුපර් මාකට් එකේ නෙවෙයි. අපිත් කැලෑවක් තියෙනවා. ඒකේ කොස්සතු පොල්ලතු තියෙනවා. කපාගෙන එන්න පුළුවන් ගිහිල්ලා.
I guess there is quite a lot of leaves to be cut because it's quite a big animal. එතකොට අපි මොකද යන්නේ?
අපි යන්නේ මහත්තයා මේ ට්‍රැක්ටරෙන් යන්නේ.
Ah, yeah.
යමු.
Right.
අලියාගේ ආසම කෑම තමයි මහත්තයා කිතුල්. කිතුල් කනවා, කිතුල් අතු, පොල් අතු, කොස් අතු තමයි යාට දෙන්නේ අපි.
එතකොට දැන් දවසට කොච්චරක් කන්නේ? කියන්නේ දැන් අපි කපන්න ප්‍රමාණය එක සට්ටියක් ඇටිද?
සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අඩි 4ක විතර කිතුල් කෑල්ලකුයි, පොල් අතු කෑලි 20කුයි, කොස් අතු ටිකකුයි තමයි අපේ එක්කෙනාට නම් දෙන්නේ. වැඩ කරන අලින් නම් ඊට වඩා ඉතින් කෑම ප්‍රමාණයක් කනවා. එක එක වයස ප්‍රමාණය අනුව තමයි කෑම දෙන්නේ.
ඒ කියන්නේ සෑහෙන මාන්සි වෙන්න ඕන දවසින් දවසින් මේව හොයන්න.
ඔව් ඉතින් ගොඩක් මහන්සි වෙන්න ඕනේ ඉතින්.
What's next?
අපි තාම කිතුලක් තියෙනවා මහත්තයා කපලා දාලා එක ගේන්න යන්න ඕනේ දැන් මේ ඇතින් ඉවරගෙන. මේ තමයි කිතුල් මේ අලි කන්න කැමති කෑමක් මේක. දැන් මේ පිටි තියෙන කිතුල් අලින්ට දෙන්නේ කන්න. මේවා අපි කොටලා ගන්නවා අපිට කෑමට. අද ගෙදර නාවනවා මොකද මේ අපි ඊයේ පෙරහැරක් කරලා ආවා. අපි දැන් කෑම ගෙනල්ලා ඉවරයි. මම පොඩි කාලේ ඉඳන් මලි හිටිය තාත්තා ගාව. මං ඉතින් ගොඩක් ආදරේ සතුන්ට තාත්තා වගේම.
Sun is about to set on my paradise island and it's time for us to get back on the road and explore plenty of more amazing stories. I thank you all for your great hospitality. Thank you so much. It's been an amazing experience. Bom stuti. Busarnai.
Next on our journey, I invite you to experience the sheer beauty and simplicity of rural Sri Lanka. You can hear the cry of the peacock in the distance, the birds singing, and you can smell the purity of the air. Just like their ancestors have done for generations, these people come together to farm their lands and share a meal in the fields. Today, this family has invited me for lunch, and I invite you all to join us here for an organic meal in the paddy fields.
Bom stuti. Wow. Look at this beautiful plate. Now this is authentic Sri Lankan rice and curry. In an environment like this, nature is your provider. Every single produce on this plate is grown locally. Here in Sri Lanka, you don't use no forks or knives or spoons when you eat your food. Eating with your hands gives you a whole new different sensation of your food. You can feel the textures and you can feel the heat. You can feel and sense your food. Rasaide, Rasaide. All right, guys. This right here is cricket. And cricket is Sri Lanka's absolute favorite #1 sport. To the American audience, yeah, it looks a bit like baseball, but I tell you what, it's got nothing to do with it because the ball, the bat, and the rolls are completely different. This right here is a game that was brought here by the British, and pretty much every Commonwealth nation on the world loves this sport. Well, here in South Asia, in India or Sri Lanka, every single youngster dreams to play cricket for the national team.
Sri Lanka and cricket go hand in hand. But it's time for us to get back on the road and explore plenty of more stories right here on Crossroads.
Buddhism came to Sri Lanka from India. According to ancient Sri Lankan chronicles, it was Mahinda Bhikkhu, the son of the great Emperor Ashoka, who brought Buddhism here to Sri Lanka. Whereas Hindus believe in a pantheon of deities, in Buddhism, there is no such thing. Buddhism actually is a very, very simple philosophy of non-attachment and simplicity. And here in Sri Lanka, the majority population are Buddhist. They're the Sinhalese.
The Sinhalese derive their name from the Sanskrit word Singha, which means lion. So Sinhalese literally translates into the lion people.
This mighty tree that you see right here behind me is the Sri Bodhi, right here in the sacred city of Anuradhapura. I'm sure you all heard the story of the Buddha, the Prince Gautama, who left the riches of his palace, walked out the door without a single cent in his pocket, maybe not even shoes on his feet, because he was looking for more than the riches and wealth of his palace and his kingly life could give him. He went out into the world looking for enlightenment. On his travels, on his journey, he found shade under a very tree like this, the Bo tree. And over the years, he even found what he was looking for, enlightenment, by meditating under a very tree like this. That was in India. We are in Sri Lanka, so what's the connection? Priests from India, devotees, came to Sri Lanka with a seedling, with a little shoot of the very tree in Bodh Gaya and planted it here in Anuradhapura. Sadly, the original tree in Bodh Gaya was victim of a terrorist attack and got burned. So when you look at it technically, the tree right here behind me is as close as it gets to the real thing. It is an offspring, it is a shoot of the very tree the Buddha found enlightenment under.
Somavati is located in the middle of the jungle, and these jungles surrounding me here are home to herds and herds of wild elephants, just like this gentleman here behind me. The only thing that separates the elephant and me is a little electric fence that keeps the elephant from walking around on the temple premises itself. But it is well known that in the evenings just before sunset, the herds of elephant congregate near the stupa, some of them kneeling, lifting their trunks, trumpeting in worship of the Buddha.
Here in Sri Lanka, every full moon day is an auspicious day in the Buddhist calendar, which means it's a holiday. Schools are closed, shops are closed, and guess what? Liquor shops are closed. No alcohol on a Poya day. That's a whole lot of extra holidays in the Sri Lankan calendar. On a public holiday, anything related to the Buddhist calendar, you flock to any of the thousands of temples around the island, you will see hundreds and thousands of people dressed in their whites, flocking to the temples, listening to the sermons, and doing offerings of flowers and other objects to the Buddha. It's an amazing atmosphere.
Today, many Westerners flock here to Asia to learn about meditation, yoga, and about Buddhism. Some have even gone as far as giving up their layman's life and to be ordained as Buddhist monks here in Sri Lanka or India. Today, I'm here to meet one such person, a European gentleman who gave up all the comforts and wealth of the West to come here to Sri Lanka to be ordained as a Buddhist monk.
I first came here as a traveler. I stayed in a monastery here. I thought, oh, it's a cool thing to try. So I tried, and I stayed a monk.
For how many years now?
More than 20 years, yes.
Wow.
Yes,
Thank you so much for your time and dedication. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much. as I continue to take you all to my favorite places here on the island of Sri Lanka. Next up, I want to take you and show you an action-packed segment about the traditional martial art here in Sri Lanka, Angampora.
Angampora සටන් කලාව අපේ රටේ අවුරුදු 5000කට එපිට ඉතිහාසයක් ඇති සටන් කලාවක් විතරම සැලකන්නේ.
Way back in the ancient days, this explosive and agile form of indigenous martial art was the secret weapon of the Sinhalese to fight off armed intruders.
කෑමබීම නිර්මාංශී ආහාර වේලවල් ඒ වගේම ශරීරයේ ශක්තිය හදා ගන්න සිංහල බෙහෙත් වර්ග මේ සියලු කාරණා ඒ අය පිළිවෙත් වශයෙන් රැකගෙන අදටත් මේ සටන් කලාව නිරත වෙන්නේ එසේ නොවන්න තමන්ගේ ජීවන චර්යාවක් බවට පත් නොවුනොත් මේ සටන් කලාව කරගෙන යන්නට බෑ.
Guys, you gotta check this out. I had to stop because this again is something really uniquely Sri Lankan. This dude here is a Bombai Mottai carrier. Now you're gonna say, what the hell is Bombai Mottai? Well, check it out. It's in the box. Go and check this out. Mata Bombai Mottai ka. Bonus to the kid. Rupiah beside 20 rupees. And what you get is this right here. This is Bombai Mottai. It's simply sweet, but man, kids all over the island and adults like me just love this stuff. The closest I can describe this to the Western audience, it's similar to cotton candy, but it's sweeter. And you know what? It's a bit more of a roasty, woody, fiery kind of taste. So if you want some Bombai Mottai, if you see a guy with a wooden box or an iron box, ringing the bell, riding the bicycle, or just walking the street, you know, that's the man you want to check to get some of this Bombai Mottai. I'm going to get back on the road because there's a whole lot of more places that I want to show you here on the island of Sri Lanka. I hope you join me again next week. See you next time. This right here is Nihal. This is Chaminda, his son. They have been looking after the elephants as long as palm wine thing is that here in Sri Lanka we thought, sorry.